Scandinavia is a land defined by extremes. Its winters are legendary, stretching for months on end, with days that are short and nights that seem endless. The bitter cold here is not just a minor inconvenience. It is a formidable challenge that tests the very limits of human comfort and architectural ingenuity. Temperatures in the heart of winter can plummet to 30 degrees F, and in some northern regions, even lower. The wind carries a bone-chilling bite that penetrates clothing and walls alike, turning every exposed surface into a test of endurance. For those unfamiliar with such conditions, even the most modern homes, equipped with high-tech heating systems, often struggle to maintain a sense of warmth and security. The Scandinavian landscape, blanketed in thick layers of snow, seems serene and pristine, but this beauty belies the relentless harshness of the environment. Snowdrifts can rise high against buildings. Ice forms a hard shell over rivers and lakes, and the short daylight hours add to the psychological weight of the cold. It is in this unforgiving environment that the resilience of Scandinavian cabins has been proven, showcasing the power of time-tested design and an intimate understanding of nature. The challenge of surviving in 30 degrees F temperatures is not just about enduring a cold snap. It is about managing an environment where heat is constantly under siege. Modern homes, built with a focus on aesthetics, space, and convenience, often fail to account for the subtle and constant ways in which heat escapes. Tiny cracks in windows, poorly insulated walls, and even slight gaps around doors become significant points of heat loss when the external temperature is decades below freezing. The result is a home that feels perpetually cold, where heaters work overtime but still cannot create the cozy, enveloping warmth that one might expect. In contrast, traditional Scandinavian cabins are built with a completely different philosophy. They are not designed to fight the cold with brute force. They are designed to coexist with it. Every element, from the thickness of the walls to the orientation of the windows, serves the purpose of preserving warmth. These cabins are not just shelters, they are carefully engineered environments that use every tool available, natural or architectural, to protect their inhabitants from the harsh winter outside. One of the most striking aspects of the Scandinavian winter is the psychological pressure it exerts. The sun barely rises for weeks in the far north, creating a landscape dominated by shadows and a pervasive sense of stillness. Temperatures do not just dip, they plunge, and the cold can linger relentlessly. In such conditions, human physiology is constantly challenged. The body loses heat faster than in more temperate climates, and even brief exposure to the outdoors can result in numb fingers, stiff joints, and the risk of frostbite. Indoor spaces, therefore, must serve as sanctuaries, places where warmth is not just a comfort but a necessity for survival. In modern homes, the struggle to maintain this sanctuary often becomes apparent in the form of uneven heating, drafts, and the constant hum of heating systems. No matter how advanced the technology, the structure itself must work in harmony with the environment, or it will fail to retain heat effectively. Scandinavian cabins achieve this balance in ways that modern construction rarely does. Their design anticipates the extreme conditions rather than simply reacting to them, creating a sense of warmth that feels natural and enduring rather than artificially forced. Another critical factor in the extreme cold of Scandinavia is the way heat interacts with the natural environment. The snow, while insulating the ground, also reflects cold back toward the air, creating layers of frost that seem to magnify the chill. Wind patterns are unpredictable and relentless, cutting across open landscapes and intensifying the sensation of cold. Modern homes, with large glass windows or flat surfaces, often amplify these challenges by providing weak points where heat can escape. In contrast, the traditional cabins of Scandinavia are compact, often with sloped roofs and small openings, minimizing the surfaces exposed to the wind. They are typically positioned with consideration for natural windbreaks, using the landscape itself to reduce exposure. This level of environmental integration is something that cannot be replicated simply with modern heating systems. It requires a deep understanding of local weather patterns and a commitment to building in harmony with the environment. The extreme cold of Scandinavia also highlights the importance of material choices. In temperatures of 30 degrees F, every material behaves differently. Wood, stone, and natural insulation materials have properties that allow them to retain heat and maintain structural integrity even in severe frost. Modern synthetic materials or lightweight construction can become brittle, allowing heat to escape and drafts to form. The traditional Scandinavian cabin, built with dense timber and layered insulation, can maintain a surprisingly stable internal temperature, even when the thermometer outside plunges to dangerous lows. This resilience is not accidental, it is the result of centuries of adaptation, trial, and meticulous attention to how materials interact with the climate. Ultimately, the extreme cold of Scandinavia is more than a backdrop. It is a central character in the story of why cabins endure while modern homes struggle. It shapes every decision, from architecture to material selection, from placement on the landscape to interior design. Understanding this context is crucial to appreciating why Scandinavian cabins can remain warm at 30 degrees F. They are not merely surviving. They are thriving, offering a level of comfort and security that modern homes often fail to achieve under the same conditions. This harsh, beautiful environment is nature's ultimate test of human ingenuity. And in this test, the lessons from Scandinavian cabins are clear. Respect the elements, work with them, and design every detail with both function and resilience in mind. Traditional Scandinavian cabins are more than just simple shelters. They are masterpieces of design forged over centuries to withstand some of the harshest winters on Earth. While modern homes often prioritize aesthetics, space, and convenience, these cabins were created with one singular goal in mind: survival in extreme cold. Every inch of a Scandinavian cabin, from its foundation to its roof, reflects an understanding of the environment that is both practical and ingenious. These structures are built not to fight the winter, but to work with it, harnessing natural principles to retain warmth and protect their inhabitants from the biting chill that can reach 30 degrees F and beyond. The beauty of their design lies in their simplicity and efficiency. Every feature serves a functional purpose, ensuring that warmth is preserved and heat loss is minimized. One of the most defining characteristics of Scandinavian cabin design is its compact structure. Unlike modern homes that often spread out horizontally or vertically, cabins are deliberately kept small and low to the ground. This compactness is crucial in extreme climates because it reduces the surface area exposed to cold air, minimizing heat loss. A smaller interior volume also means that heat from a single stove or fireplace can effectively warm the entire space, eliminating cold corners or drafty rooms. The cozy, confined layout may feel limiting to those accustomed to spacious modern homes, but in terms of thermal efficiency, it is an ingenious adaptation. By prioritizing function over size, these cabins create an environment where warmth circulates evenly, providing comfort even when temperatures outside plummet far below freezing. The roof design of Scandinavian cabins is another critical element in their ability to survive harsh winters. Most traditional cabins feature steeply pitched roofs, often covered in thick layers of wood shingles or thatch. The steep pitch serves multiple purposes. It prevents heavy snow from accumulating and putting pressure on the structure, and it also helps channel heat downward, contributing to overall warmth. The roof often extends beyond the cabin walls, creating overhangs that shield windows and doors from snow and wind. This thoughtful design prevents cold drafts from entering and reduces the need for constant maintenance during severe weather. In some regions, cabins are partially buried into the earth or built against natural hillsides, using the insulation properties of the ground to further stabilize internal temperatures. Such integration with the environment demonstrates a profound understanding of both architecture and natural thermodynamics. Windows in Scandinavian cabins are another example of intentional, climate-focused design. Modern homes often boast large panoramic windows that offer beautiful views, but are poor at retaining heat. Traditional cabins, by contrast, feature small, strategically placed windows. The reduced window area minimizes heat loss while still allowing sunlight to enter during the short winter days. These windows are often double or even triple glazed with tight-fitting wooden frames, preventing cold air from seeping in. The placement of windows is also carefully considered. South-facing windows capture the maximum available sunlight, while windows exposed to prevailing winds are minimized to reduce drafts. The result is a cabin that feels bright and airy despite the cold outside, without sacrificing the efficiency of heat retention. The walls of Scandinavian cabins are typically constructed from thick timber logs, often interlocked in a technique known as log stacking. This method creates dense, solid walls that provide excellent insulation while maintaining structural stability. The natural properties of wood make it an ideal material for cold climates. It retains heat, resists moisture, and allows the building to breathe, preventing condensation and mold. Modern homes, built with lighter materials such as drywall or thin concrete panels, often fail to achieve the same level of thermal efficiency. The interlocking log design also contributes to the cabin's durability, allowing it to withstand heavy snow loads and harsh winds without compromising interior warmth. In some regions, the logs are treated with natural oils, or moss is packed between them for additional insulation, demonstrating a combination of innovation and resourcefulness that has been perfected over generations. Interior layout and placement of heat sources are equally crucial to the survival-focused design of these cabins. Fireplaces or wood stoves are centrally located, allowing heat to radiate in all directions. The cabin's furniture is arranged to maximize warmth distribution, often placing sleeping areas and seating close to the stove. In some designs, elevated platforms or lofts are used for sleeping, taking advantage of the natural tendency of warm air to rise. This thoughtful use of space ensures that inhabitants remain comfortable throughout the coldest months without the need for excessive fuel consumption. Even the smallest design choices, such as door placement and the use of vestibules, are intended to create thermal buffers, preventing cold air from rushing into the living space whenever someone enters or exits the cabin. Another remarkable feature of Scandinavian cabin design is its adaptability to available resources and the surrounding environment. Builders historically used locally sourced timber, stone, and moss, tailoring the construction to the specific conditions of the area. This resourcefulness not only made the cabins sustainable, but also highly effective in retaining heat. In forested regions, dense timber provided excellent insulation. Near rocky landscapes, stone foundations and walls helped anchor the cabin and store heat. The use of natural materials also allowed the cabins to age gracefully, maintaining their insulating properties over decades, something that many modern constructions fail to achieve. In essence, traditional Scandinavian cabins embody a philosophy of design that prioritizes resilience, efficiency, and harmony with nature. They are compact, thermally efficient, and structurally robust, all while maintaining a simple elegance that feels timeless. Every element, from roof pitch to window placement, from wall thickness to interior layout, is a deliberate response to the brutal winter climate. Modern homes, with their focus on aesthetics, open plans, and large glass surfaces, often fail to replicate this level of thermal efficiency. By studying these cabins, architects and homeowners alike can gain insights into how to create spaces that are both comfortable and sustainable. Even in extreme cold, Scandinavian cabin design is not just about surviving winter. It is about thriving in it, proving that centuries-old wisdom can still outperform the latest technological advancements when it comes to enduring the harshest elements of nature. In extreme cold climates like those of Scandinavia, the choice of building materials is not a matter of aesthetics or cost alone. It is the single most important factor in determining whether a home will remain warm or succumb to the freezing temperatures outside. Traditional Scandinavian cabins owe much of their legendary warmth to the careful selection and use of natural materials, each chosen for its unique ability to retain heat, resist moisture, and endure harsh winter conditions. In contrast, many modern homes rely on synthetic or lightweight materials that often fail to provide the same level of insulation, leaving interiors cold and drafty even when heating systems are running at full capacity. Understanding how materials perform in extreme cold is key to appreciating why Scandinavian cabins stay warm at 30 degrees F, while modern homes struggle. Wood has always been the cornerstone of Scandinavian cabin construction. Dense, solid timber logs form the walls of most traditional cabins. Stacked and interlocked in techniques perfected over centuries, wood possesses several inherent properties that make it ideal for cold environments. First, it is an excellent natural insulator, with air pockets within the wood fibers slowing down heat transfer. Unlike concrete or steel, which quickly lose heat to the outside environment, thick wooden logs can maintain a steady internal temperature, keeping warmth inside for long periods. Second, wood is hygroscopic, meaning it can absorb and release moisture without losing its structural integrity. This property allows cabins to breathe, preventing condensation from forming inside, which could otherwise lead to mold or ice buildup. Modern materials like drywall, aluminums, or thin concrete panels lack these adaptive qualities, making them far less effective at maintaining a cozy interior in sub-zero temperatures. The construction method enhances the material's natural advantages. Logs are often carefully interlocked, creating tight seams that prevent drafts. In some regions, moss or other natural insulating materials are packed between logs to fill any gaps, further reducing heat loss. This combination of dense wood and supplementary insulation allows the cabin to act almost like a thermal battery, absorbing heat from a stove or fireplace and slowly releasing it over time, even as the temperature outside plummets. Modern homes, by contrast, often rely on synthetic insulation sandwiched between thin walls, which can compress, settle, or develop gaps over time, reducing efficiency and creating cold spots. Stone is another material frequently used in Scandinavian cabins, particularly for foundations, fireplaces, and sometimes even walls. Stone is incredibly durable, resistant to weathering, and, importantly, has a high thermal mass. This means it can absorb and store heat from a fire or the sun during the day and release it gradually, helping to stabilize indoor temperatures during the night. Stone foundations also protect cabins from moisture rising from the ground, which could otherwise compromise both warmth and structural stability. Modern homes often use concrete slabs or synthetic foundations that, while strong, do not retain heat in the same way, leading to colder floors and higher energy demands to maintain comfort. Natural insulation materials play an equally vital role in cabin warmth. Historically, Scandinavians used materials like moss, animal hides, straw, and wool to supplement the insulation provided by timber and stone. Moss, for example, is lightweight, compressible, and full of tiny air pockets, making it an excellent insulator. It was often packed between logs or layered on roofs, creating an additional barrier against heat loss. Wool and hides were used inside the cabin for bedding and wall coverings, adding another layer of warmth. These materials not only insulated effectively, but were also locally available, sustainable, and resilient to the extreme conditions, allowing the cabin to remain warm even during prolonged cold spells. Modern homes, in contrast, often rely on fiberglass or foam insulation. While these materials can provide temporary warmth, they do not have the natural resilience of moss or wool. Fiberglass can settle or develop gaps over time, and foam can lose its effectiveness if moisture infiltrates the walls, leading to uneven heating and higher energy costs. The roof of a Scandinavian cabin is another area where materials make a critical difference. Traditional roofs were often layered with wooden shingles, thatch, or sod, all of which provided excellent insulation and helped to prevent heat loss. Sod roofs, for example, combined layers of grass and soil, creating both a natural barrier against the cold and an added weight that helped stabilize the structure against strong winter winds. Modern roofing materials, such as asphalt shingles or metal panels, are lighter and cheaper but often transmit heat more readily, requiring additional synthetic insulation beneath them to achieve the same level of warmth. In extreme cold, these modern solutions are prone to gaps, condensation, and ice damming, reducing their overall effectiveness. Windows and doors are also heavily influenced by material choices. Traditional cabins use small, thick wooden frames and, in later years, double glazing to reduce heat loss. Wood, once again, acts as a natural insulator, and smaller windows minimize the surface area through which heat can escape. Modern homes, with large glass panels and aluminum frames, create significant thermal bridges where heat can rapidly escape. No matter how powerful the heating system, these design choices make modern homes far less efficient at maintaining consistent warmth. Ultimately, the warmth of a Scandinavian cabin is not the result of a single material, but the careful synergy between multiple natural elements: timber, stone, moss, and thatch, each chosen for its ability to complement the others and respond to extreme cold. These cabins represent centuries of trial, error, and accumulated knowledge about how materials perform under harsh winter conditions. Modern homes, in comparison, often prioritize cost, speed of construction, or aesthetics over material performance, leading to buildings that may look impressive but cannot hold warmth as effectively in the face of 30 degrees F temperatures. By understanding and applying the lessons of these traditional materials, it is possible to design homes that are both modern and resilient, combining efficiency with the timeless effectiveness of nature's own insulation strategies. Heating in Scandinavian cabins is not merely a matter of convenience. It is a lifeline. In regions where temperatures can drop to 30 degrees F or lower, the difference between effective heating and insufficient heating can mean the difference between comfort and genuine danger. Traditional Scandinavian cabins developed ingenious methods to maximize warmth using minimal resources. Long before modern heating technology existed, these methods relied on a deep understanding of how heat behaves in enclosed spaces, the properties of building materials, and the natural flow of warm air. Modern homes, while often equipped with sophisticated heating systems, frequently fail to replicate the efficiency and resilience of these traditional techniques, particularly when faced with extreme cold. At the heart of every Scandinavian cabin was the fireplace or wood stove. Far from being a mere decorative feature, it was the primary source of warmth and often the only reliable method of heating the entire cabin. These stoves were designed not just to burn wood efficiently, but to radiate heat in a way that would warm every corner of the living space. Fireplaces were centrally located, allowing heat to circulate naturally throughout the cabin. The compact size of the cabins meant that a single, well-placed stove could maintain a comfortable temperature, even on the coldest nights. In addition to heating, fireplaces also provided a means of cooking and boiling water, further enhancing their value in harsh winter conditions. Modern homes, by contrast, often rely on forced air systems, electric heaters, or central heating units that distribute warmth unevenly. While these systems can be convenient, they do not harness the natural flow of heat and often create zones that are warmer near vents and colder in corners, making the environment less comfortable overall. The design of the stoves themselves demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of thermal dynamics. Many traditional stoves were made from materials like stone, cast iron, or tile, all of which have high thermal mass. These materials absorb the heat from the fire and then slowly release it over time, maintaining a stable indoor temperature long after the flames have died down. This principle allows cabins to stay warm with minimal fuel, a crucial consideration in remote areas where gathering firewood required significant effort. Some stoves were even connected to chimneys or flues that carried warm air through additional rooms or lofts, extending the reach of the heat without additional energy expenditure. Modern homes rarely incorporate such passive heat retention techniques, relying instead on continuous energy input to maintain temperature, which can be inefficient and costly during prolonged cold spells. Another innovation of Scandinavian cabin heating was the strategic use of heat circulation. Cabins often featured lofts or elevated sleeping areas where warm air naturally rises, while cooler air settled at lower levels. By positioning stoves and vents with this in mind, inhabitants could ensure that all levels of the cabin remained comfortable. Some designs included small vents or channels in walls that allowed heat to travel between rooms, effectively creating a natural convection system. This thoughtful approach minimized fuel consumption while maximizing comfort. A stark contrast to modern systems that pump heated air through ductwork or rely on electricity to force circulation. The cabin's compact layout amplified these effects, making every cubic foot of space easier to heat than the sprawling open-plan rooms common in contemporary homes. The choice of fuel also played a role in cabin warmth. Wood, readily available in the Scandinavian forests, burns at a steady rate and produces consistent heat. The cabins were designed to accommodate logs of varying sizes, allowing inhabitants to maintain a controlled, long-lasting fire. Modern heating often relies on electricity or gas, which, while convenient, can be vulnerable to outages or supply issues. In contrast, the cabin's wood-based system was entirely self-sufficient and reliable, capable of functioning in remote areas without dependence on modern infrastructure. This independence was not just practical but essential for survival during prolonged winter storms or periods of isolation. Heat retention in the cabin was further enhanced by design features that complemented the stove. Thick timber walls, moss-filled gaps, and insulated roofs ensured that the heat generated inside remained trapped, reducing the need for continuous fire maintenance. Even furniture placement was functional, with beds, benches, and tables positioned to benefit from rising warmth. Doors often opened into small vestibules or entryways, preventing cold drafts from rushing into the main living space. The combination of efficient heat generation, careful circulation, and superior insulation created an environment where the cabin remained cozy, even when temperatures outside were dangerously low. In comparison, modern homes often struggle with heating efficiency despite advanced technology. Large glass windows, high ceilings, and sprawling floor plans create significant heat loss. Forced air systems can dry out the air, distribute heat unevenly, and fail to warm rooms far from vents. Electric heaters, while effective in small areas, are energy-intensive and cannot provide the same consistent warmth as a well-designed wood stove. Even high-efficiency furnaces cannot replicate the passive heat retention strategies perfected in Scandinavian cabins, such as the use of thermal mass or natural convection for heat distribution. The lessons from traditional cabin heating are clear. Efficiency is not just about generating heat, it is about maintaining it, distributing air intelligently, and designing the space to complement natural thermodynamics. Modern technology can enhance comfort, but it cannot replace thoughtful design and the strategic use of materials and architecture. Scandinavian cabins demonstrate that with careful planning, it is possible to stay warm in extreme conditions without relying on constant energy input or expensive machinery. The combination of stoves, thermal mass, compact layouts, and smart circulation strategies allows cabins to remain cozy even at 30 degrees F, showcasing a level of resilience and ingenuity that modern homes often fail to achieve. By studying these innovations, homeowners and architects today can incorporate the principles of passive heating into contemporary designs, blending tradition with modern technology to create spaces that are both energy efficient and exceptionally comfortable. Scandinavian cabins prove that true warmth is achieved not simply by turning on a heater, but by designing every element of the home to work with the environment, harnessing both the materials and the physics of heat in a way that ensures survival and comfort through the harshest winters. Modern homes often prioritize aesthetics, open layouts, and technological convenience, but when faced with extreme cold, these priorities can work against comfort. Large glass windows, high ceilings, and expansive floor plans may look impressive, but they make it much harder to retain heat efficiently. As temperatures drop to 30 degrees F, even the most sophisticated heating systems can struggle to maintain a consistent, cozy indoor environment. Fortunately, the lessons learned from traditional Scandinavian cabins offer practical insights that can be applied to modern homes, allowing them to stay warm without incurring enormous energy costs or relying solely on high-tech solutions. By adopting design principles material choices, and heating strategies inspired by centuries of experience. Homeowners can create spaces that are both comfortable and efficient, even in the harshest winters. The first lesson is the importance of insulation and material choice. Modern construction often emphasizes speed and cost-effectiveness, resulting in walls and roofs that are thinner or made from materials that do not retain heat well. Scandinavian cabins, by contrast, use dense timber, stone, and natural insulation such as moss or wool. Modern homes can benefit from similar principles by incorporating high-quality insulation in walls, roofs, and floors. This does not necessarily mean rebuilding the entire structure. Even retrofitting existing homes with spray foam, cellulose, or double-layered insulation can dramatically reduce heat loss. Materials with high thermal mass, such as stone or concrete, can also store heat during the day and release it slowly at night, reducing the need for continuous heating. In essence, choosing materials that trap and gradually release heat is far more effective and economical than relying solely on heaters to compensate for poor insulation. Compact design is another key lesson. Open concept layouts are popular in modern architecture, but they make heating large spaces challenging, especially when ceilings are tall. By using strategic partitions, furniture placement, or even temporary room dividers, homeowners can reduce the volume of space that needs to be heated. Smaller, enclosed areas warm more quickly and retain heat longer, mimicking the efficiency of Scandinavian cabins. Even small changes, such as closing doors to unused rooms or creating cozy nooks where people spend most of their time, can make a noticeable difference in warmth without requiring extra energy expenditure. Windows and doors are critical points for heat loss, and modern homes often overlook this simple fact. Large glass panes and poorly sealed doors can allow heat to escape rapidly, making even the most advanced heating system work harder. Scandinavian cabins minimize heat loss with small, strategically placed windows and tight wooden frames. Modern homeowners can adopt similar strategies by installing double or triple glazed windows, using thermal curtains, and ensuring that doors and frames are properly sealed. Even inexpensive measures, such as adding draft stoppers, insulating film, or weather stripping, can dramatically reduce heat loss and improve comfort. South-facing windows can be prioritized to capture natural sunlight during the day, which contributes to passive solar heating and reduces the need for mechanical heating. Efficient heating methods are another area where modern homes can learn from traditional designs. Instead of relying solely on centralized HVAC systems or electric heaters, homeowners can use localized, efficient heating sources to warm the spaces where people spend the most time. Wood stoves, pellet stoves, or high-efficiency fireplaces can provide intense, focused heat, and when combined with the thermal mass of floors or walls, they can maintain warmth over hours or even days. Even modern electric or gas heaters can be used more effectively if paired with strategic placement, and the principles of heat circulation, placing units where warm air naturally rises and allowing cool air to settle in lower areas without creating cold drafts. Zoned heating systems that allow different rooms to be heated independently can also save energy while maintaining comfort. Another practical lesson is the use of passive heating and natural energy sources. Scandinavian cabins make use of sunlight, insulation, and thermal mass to reduce dependency on fuel or constant fire maintenance. Modern homes can do the same through passive solar design, maximizing sun exposure, using reflective surfaces to direct heat inward, and minimizing heat loss through exterior walls. Even landscaping choices, such as planting windbreaks, positioning homes near natural barriers, or using earth berms, can reduce wind exposure and minimize heat loss. These strategies require little ongoing cost, but can significantly improve warmth and energy efficiency. Small interior adjustments can also make a big difference. Heavy rugs, insulated curtains, and wall hangings can trap heat inside the living space. Furniture placement near heat sources and raised sleeping areas can take advantage of natural heat circulation, ensuring that warmth reaches the people who need it most. Drafty areas near floors, Windows and doors can be mitigated with simple solutions like draft stoppers, rugs, or additional insulation, preventing heat from escaping and cold from infiltrating. Even daily habits, such as closing doors to maintain heat in occupied rooms and managing curtains to capture sunlight during the day, align with the principles used in traditional cabins. Finally, adopting a mindset of efficiency over brute force is crucial. Modern homes often attempt to fight the cold with maximum heater output, which can be expensive and wasteful. Scandinavian cabins, however, rely on an integrated approach where materials, layout, insulation, and heat sources all work together. Modern homeowners can emulate this by combining high-quality insulation, strategic heating, passive solar gains, and efficient appliances. By creating a system where every component supports warmth retention, it is possible to stay comfortable even in severe cold, without spending excessively on energy bills or advanced technology. In conclusion, staying warm in modern homes does not have to mean exorbitant energy consumption or reliance on advanced technology. By learning from traditional Scandinavian cabins, homeowners can make smart, cost-effective decisions about materials, insulation, layout, heating systems, and passive energy use. The lessons are simple but powerful. Prioritize materials that retain heat. Design spaces to minimize heat loss. Use heating efficiently and strategically. And leverage natural energy sources whenever possible. With these principles in mind, modern homes can achieve the same cozy, resilient warmth that has allowed Scandinavian cabins to endure 30 degrees F winters for centuries, proving that timeless wisdom combined with modern ingenuity can create homes that are both comfortable and sustainable.